Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast. This is not a numbered episode. Goodness gracious me, this episode is a special one regarding the news that Xbox have acquired Activision. Dun dun dun. Absolutely crazy news. I'm here with Macca again. Hello, Macca.
Hi, Webby. You alright? Hello, everyone.
Macca's joined us again. This is becoming a bit of a regular thing now, mate.
Oh, what can I say? You know, it's, I enjoy talking. What can I say?
Don't we all?
I like to waffle. Especially about gaming.
That's it. As we have no Nicky because he's working. But anyway, it caught us it caught me by surprise today, and I think that it did with the majority that. Well, Microsoft, Xbox have purchased Activision Blizzard, which is absolutely crazy news because Activision are a huge company. But it's the money involved, isn't it? It's stupid money. What was it, like $68 billion? $68.5 billion?
Yeah.
And
look at the franchises that they've got, though. This is the thing; they're buying some of the biggest franchises on the planet. Call of Duty, World of Warcraft. Sorry, yeah. You know you've got some big names in there.
Yeah, I mean they've got, as I say, Overwatch, Diablo, Call of Duty, World of Warcraft, Candy Crush, and that's a big money maker on the old mobile space.
Yeah, but then you've got Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon.
Yeah.
You know, you've got some big the Tony Hawk series.
Yeah.
Essentially, if they ever brought it back, the Guitar Hero series.
Yeah.
There's a lot of money there.
There is a lot of
money that's been generated from revenues of game sales.
But it's just such a huge jump, right? Because obviously, last year, Xbox purchased Bethesda. And that was then one of the biggest deals in gaming history. It was like $4 billion. And even then, it was like, that's a lot of money. And the amounts Microsoft have paid for Activision, I mean, I think it's quite perplexing, to be honest. I mean, that's a hell of a lot of money. And in my view, it's a hell of a lot of money for a company which I feel, I mean, obviously I'm not a businessman, I don't work in the business, so I don't know how much money that Activision is generating. It's obviously a hell of a lot because they make a lot of money from Call of Duty Warzone just on the microtransactions, right? But in my view, Macca, the last, 5 years or so of Activision, they haven't pushed out anything that's interested me at all. Diablo 2 remaster, not interested in. I'm not really a big COD player anymore, even though the Call of Duties do very well. But their sales have been declining every single year. Yeah, you've got Overwatch. What else? What else have they really pumped out that's been worth buying and playing in the last few years by gamers like me? You know what I mean? It's just. I'm just trying to get my head around it, and obviously World of Warcraft is still very popular, but it's got a dwindling player base. I'm just trying to understand where Microsoft is coming from. I mean, do you think that they've purchased them because Activision has been on a bit of a decline and they've had a lot of bad press, obviously with the sexual allegations, the company kind of ethos around women, etc., and Microsoft are thinking, well, this is the least the company's ever going to be worth. We'll swoop in, buy it, clean house, and give it a fresh start. I mean, that's the only kind of thing that I can think of.
Well, I think if you look at the Xbox business model right now, I'm not, as you say, I'm not in the business, but if you look at the actual business model, they are becoming a more acquisitionable company. They're building a brand based on acquisitions rather than exclusives, where Sony are the other way round. They're not buying brands, or they're buying companies. They're pumping out exclusives. Now, you just touching upon the 70 billion, it is a crazy amount, but when you take into consideration that Call of Duty franchise has earned 27 billion in revenue. since it started. And in 2020, Warzone, that's not included in that 27 billion, has generated 3 billion in revenue.
Wow. Yeah, that's just from the microtransactions. That's insane.
So that's essentially 30 plus billion that one franchise has made that company.
Yeah.
And Warzone is only going to grow because it's only getting bigger. And I think the way the Call of Duty, and looking at it from the professional side of Call of Duty, which I was a big fan of and used to do like semi-amateur tournaments and things.
Oh, cool.
You can see where it's moving. So they've moved from Xbox to PlayStation for exclusivity on the content.
Yep.
Now they've moved to PC.
Yep.
The game itself, the professional side is now dying. The tournaments don't bring in the same sort of viewership and revenue and that is it used to, because it's not as exciting, because they've made it it's a very structured tournament.
Yeah.
You know, teams have to buy into it, and it costs them $25 million to buy into to buy a franchise, like, because it's American, like the NFL. So they buy a franchise. So you have like Los Angeles Optic rather than just Optic Gaming. And FaZe was Atlanta FaZe. So they took it down that route, which is more towards the Overwatch route.
Right.
Now, the problem you got is because COD, the actual multiplayer is a dying game. Everyone said it. The multiplayer has taken a massive dip, and you can see from Activision's point of view that they are focusing more on Warzone, because clearly in 1 year of having Warzone, they earned $3 billion.
Yeah. I mean, you've got the season passes, and people are quite happy to spend the 10, 20 quid on a fucking weapon skin or a costume for their character in Warzone, aren't they?
But the thing is, if you're clever enough, you don't actually you buy one season pass for $7.99 or 10 quid. Yeah. You never have to buy another season pass, because you earn enough coins throughout the season pass, as long as you work towards the end, to buy the next season pass.
Right.
People don't do that because they use their coins on buying, like you say, shit like guns and camos. So that's where the revenue comes from.
Yeah.
As far as then, just touching on the point of you're right. Activision, to be honest, Call of Duty, Overwatch is a dead game. They've been banging on about Overwatch 2 for 2 years now.
Yeah.
We still haven't seen a release. World of Warcraft is, like you say, Final Fantasy 14 is the go-to game.
Yep.
Nick rightfully pointed that out to me earlier. The 25 million current players, where World of Warcraft only has 7. So you can see there's a massive gulf in player numbers there.
But do you think, though, with Microsoft purchasing Activision, when the deal actually goes through, they could essentially work on porting WoW over to the console, couldn't they?
They could, and I think as well they could really change the game here, because if you're an Xbox Live subscriber, you may get a free subscription to WoW with your monthly subscription. Yeah. You know, that's you think they're endless now with what they could do with this. So they could port in or they might change they may change the Xbox Live game membership up, like the PlayStation, what they're talking about with different stages. And I pay for the Ultimate, so I've got everything.
Yeah.
Well, they may do an Ultimate Plus where you pay an extra £3 or something, and you're going to get a WoW subscription, and you'll be able to play. You may get like DLC for COD a month early and go back to that. And there's all things that they could do with this. But, I think the only games that Activision have made that I've been interested in the last few years really have been the Call of Duties, but mainly like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, Spyro remasters. I loved that Spyro trilogy. I thought it was a brilliant game.
Yeah.
It just, it was done really well. I must admit, I'm not a massive fan of the Crash trilogy. I didn't think they did that very well. Right. They took a lot away from the original game, but Crash 4 is very good, and Crash Racing's quite good. So,
the thing is with this purchase, it's got a lot of positives that I think a lot of the arguments I've been seeing on socials today have been missing the point in, and that's if all current Activision Blizzard games go on to Game Pass like the Bethesda ones did, it's a win-win for Game Pass subscribers on both console and PC, right? Because it gives you more of a catalogue, especially with the Call of Duty games, because I always find the campaigns just to be pretty decent, but I haven't bought the games for the last couple of years, so it'll give me personally an opportunity to play those games. But one thing I think is missing from Game Pass still, and I think it's purely because of a time factor, to be honest, is Xbox have bought these studios, but the games, they haven't pushed any of those AAA type games onto Game Pass from those studios, and I'm talking new games, because the back catalogue on Game Pass is fantastic. You've got a lot of really great games from all these studios that have come out in the past on there. So if you're kind of a casual gamer, then you're in heaven a little bit, like, oh my god, all these games. But for someone who's like me, who's, I consider myself a little bit of a hardcore gamer, all those games are worthless to me because I've already bought them and completed them before Game Pass even existed. So I'm still kind of waiting for this to come into fruition in the result of games, because it's all well and good Microsoft going, look, we own like 50 studios, isn't this amazing? But I don't think we're going to be seeing those games for another couple of years now, really, because obviously creating games takes time. But I think, it has created some buzz and some excitement for Xbox again. And I touched on this in the podcast as well. So this is something that people forget, right? Microsoft aren't interested in being the number one console seller. It's, selling consoles isn't what makes your money. It's selling the software. And, with a lot of games now, it's the microtransactions, etc. And Xbox is now, it's not a console. Xbox is a service. You've got Xbox console's great, but then you've also got the cloud streaming. You've got Xbox on PC, so all the Xbox games come to PC as well. And there's also talk of a streaming stick, which will be able to plug into your TV as well, coming in the future. So yeah, and Clarky, who's listening in the chat as well, in the Twitch chat, has said something that is, that is something that we can all relate to, Macca, is, with COVID, which we were talking about at the beginning before I hit record, has slowed down a lot of game development because everyone's working from home. With these game studios and dev teams that they work, it's a lot easier to create games when you're all in the same building, I imagine. So, that has slowed down the development as it is. You look at all the games that have been delayed anyway. So yeah, that certainly has slowed things down, I feel. But this is the one thing that I always see people saying in our Discord or on social medias or whatever is, I want to see the games. You know what I mean? And to be fair, we've seen Halo and Forza, in the last 6 months, which have been really, really good. But people are expecting a lot more from Game Pass. But I think some people do give Game Pass a little bit of a hard time as well, Macca. I don't know if you agree, because a lot of people I've been saying as well, it's like, oh, it's all just kind of those crappy indie games I don't want to play them. But my thoughts are, well, that's just your preference of games. With Game Pass, I'm playing new games every single week. I'm discovering new games. Yes, some of them I don't like. That's fair enough. But it's opening up the doors to people that that wouldn't want to spend that 15, 20 quid on a specific game. And because on Game Pass, they can try and absolutely love it. Like a game like I played last week, like The Gunk. I never would have bought that, but I actually quite enjoyed it after playing it on Game Pass. So, it has its pluses and minuses. Also, the discussions online have just been hilarious. As you would expect from all the fanboys on both sides of the fence. It's just been quite interesting. But I think if you look at it objectively, Sony and Microsoft are trying to do completely different things.
Yeah, the thing is, there's the Games Pass. Let me just go back a step and answer your question. I think the Games Pass is fantastic.
Yeah.
You're right, and Clarky's right as well. With the fact is, they only bought Bethesda out last year.
Yep.
Well, there's been no new development from Bethesda since last year because of COVID, also because of the new titles, the new consoles. So really, we are a couple of years behind, I think, and we're not going to really see any new games like from Bethesda until I think probably 2023.
Yeah.
Really, they probably will go straight onto the Games Pass because they're going to be triple. It's like Halo and Forza Horizon. They're AAA titles. They will go on and they're owned by Microsoft.
Yeah.
I think the argument with Games Pass is, there are a lot of indie games on here, but to be honest, sometimes those indie games are actually more fun to play than actual games.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
I not on Xbox, but PlayStation has Hotline Miami.
Yep.
I'd rather play that than play that than Back 4 Blood.
Yeah, I mean, I love Hotline Miami. That was a great game.
Simple as that. I pay $7.99. Well, I don't pay I pay $10.99 for my membership. It comes with Game Pass because it's Ultimate.
Yeah.
And I got to play Back 4 Blood on release day. And instead of wasting £50 on that game, I got to play it.
Yeah, and then
But then you've got to look at like Alien Fireteam Elite. I'm at the moment playing a game called the Aragami 2.
Oh yeah.
I'm loving it, and they're games that I wouldn't personally have gone out and bought because they're games that I wouldn't have tried. I would have looked at them and gone, no, I don't like the look of that. But what Games Pass allows you to do is you get to try these games, you get to play them, you get to complete them, you get to 100% trophy them if you're a trophy hunter. And then if you want to buy them because they come off, you've got that choice.
Yeah.
And the fact is that they say there's no AAA titles on here. People that say you've got all the Dooms, you've got Dead by Daylight, you've got Back 4 Blood, you've got Gears 5, you've got Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, the Definition Collection, you've got Halo Infinite, Forza Horizon. You've got AAA titles on here. It's just people are just too nitpicky. What do you expect for $7.99 a month? You're not going to expect the whole catalogue of Xbox games. You can't. It's
Yeah, and if you like your JRPGs, there's a shitload on there as well as like Dragon Quest 11, which is a fantastic game. It's just I think people who say there's no AAA games on there, it's just either one, they haven't really looked through the catalogue properly, or two, it's just those are the sort of games that aren't in their taste, and that's fair enough, right? Everyone's got a different taste in games.
I mean, for me, it's like so I bought an Xbox One first of all, and I bought PlayStation 4 probably about a year later.
Yep.
And I slowly moved from Xbox One over to PlayStation. I basically got rid of my Xbox, and I didn't have one, but I kept my Xbox Live because I'm set up on my son's account.
Right, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So when I eventually got an Xbox Series S and I loaded it up and got Games Pass and stuff, I've come to realise there's so many games I missed out on.
Yeah.
Because I didn't buy them on my PlayStation.
Yep.
Because I didn't like the look of them, like Control, for example.
Yeah.
But it's on Games Pass, so now I get to play that.
Yeah.
DayZ. There's a lot of games on here that I haven't personally played because, like I say, I didn't want to take the chance and actually spend good money on them.
Yeah, no, it's fair. It's fair enough, right? And that back catalogue of games that they have on there, there's about 200 odd games on there now.
Yeah.
No, and it is fantastic. But just going back to the acquisition, just thinking out loud, I think it's great news, to be honest. But my only worry is they've spent a lot of money on this. They're obviously going to want to claw that money back somehow. I mean, obviously, I don't know if you know, Microsoft put out a statement today saying that they now have over 25 million active Game Pass subscribers, which is, that's raking in a lot of money. I mean, I don't know how many of those are Ultimate, right? Because if you just have it on Xbox, it's £8 a month, which I still think is great value. But my concern is, do you think we'll see a price increase on Game Pass in the near future? Now, if they keep on adding all these games and stuff,
I think it's inevitable. I think price. It's everything. everything goes up with inflation and the cost of living. That's the simple. Taking away a £70 billion acquisition.
Yeah.
Everything goes up. I mean, God, I remember when Xbox Live was like $4.99.
Yeah.
You know, it now costs me $10.99. Okay, I get a lot more for that.
Yeah.
But I also remember when PlayStation was only 30 quid a month,
I remember
a year, yeah. And it's now 50 quid a year. It's like, it will go up. But the thing is, as long as Xbox can justify the increase of price with an extended service, and that's whether they're going to introduce the Call of Duty franchise on there and all of, like the Crash Bandicoots and all of the Activision games, they're going to literally just load them up onto Games Pass, or they're going to, you know, there's talks about the Ubisoft server coming on, the Ubisoft thing. As long as they can justify an increase, people will pay it. And that's what it essentially boils down to. If they turned around today and went, we're going to up it at £15 a month from £10 a month, but we're giving you nothing extra, yeah, there's still going to be a lot of people. There's still going to be a lot of people that subscribe to that because it's still even at 15 quid. I'm sorry, it's still a fantastic service. Yeah.
Well, when you think about it, right, on PC, Ubisoft Plus is $12.99 a month. That's more expensive than Game Pass Ultimate, and all you're getting is the Ubisoft games. Yeah.
But we're all leaving out the fact is that also on the Games Pass you get EA Plus, EA Play. Yeah. So you get all the EA games as well here.
That's it. Yeah.
So for a $10.99, not only are you getting all the Xbox ones, but you're also getting all the EA ones that are notoriously expensive, regardless, because they love to pump a game out, don't they, EA? But
oh god, yeah.
I think as long as with the acquisition they're sensible and they offer the correct level of service for the money that they're going to charge.
Yeah.
To be honest, and I'm not jinxing it here, and please, if this happens, I don't want people to come hunting me. They could honestly charge £20 for that.
Yeah. I mean,
they could charge £20 a month, and I would pay for it because I'm sorry, £20 a month is like Clarky's put in the chat there. I haven't bought a game for ages. I've bought games on my Xbox purely because they've been on sale and I've enjoyed playing them, and they're not on the Games Pass. But my God, if they brought in Activision games, Ubisoft games, I don't think I'd ever buy a game for my Xbox. And I'm willing to pay $20 because you think £20 a month, that's £240 a year. You could buy that could cost you £240 a year would cost you literally 4 games.
Yeah.
If you was to go to a shop and buy them or buy them on Amazon, brand new games.
Yeah.
Instead, you're paying £240 a year and you've got a library of 200 plus games.
Yeah. That's it. And they want to get you into the service, right? And want to keep you in there. I mean, I just think it's interesting, the fact they're doing this, and there is rumours that PlayStation are going to be changing up their PlayStation Now offering in the near future as well. But I don't think they're going to make it to compete with Game Pass at all because, you know, Sony are after a different crowd, and that's fine. It's not a problem. You know, I see no issue with it. It's a bit like Nintendo, right? Sony see themselves as kind of the Apple of the gaming world. They're that more premium entertainment, right? So that, you know, you've got your PlayStation 5, which looks all, I mean, some people think it's ugly, but you know, it could be, some people would say it's a little bit artsy fartsy sitting under your TV or whatever. But then they're charging the premium, the £70 for their exclusive games, right? Because they see that they're worth those premium. And to be honest, a lot of those exclusives are fucking amazing. Right? You're not going to get them anywhere else unless you own a PC and you can get them 3 or 4 years later, right? When they're on the PC. But I'm very interested to see what Sony, if Sony do anything in response to this, or maybe buying another studio themselves. Not that I think they need to, because I think they've got enough fans and enough decent studios behind them to see this through anyway. I don't think Sony have anything to worry about at all, to be honest.
But no, I think the only thing Sony would have to worry about, and I don't think it would happen just purely because of the sheer volume, as I rolled out numbers earlier, it's like 30 odd plus billion, you know.
Yeah.
Is if Microsoft turn that franchise of Call of Duty into an exclusive. I don't think they will, because it would literally, like you said earlier, and like you don't make money from consoles, you make money from games and software. So if they cut their nose off and say, right, PC and Xbox only for PlayStation for Call of Duty.
Yeah, but
There are
I mean,
PlayStation fans that are going to say, "Well, I'm not buying an Xbox just to play COD." Simple as that.
No, and that's it. And Call of Duty sells best on the PlayStation platform out of the consoles, right? But also you need to look at Microsoft's acquisition of Minecraft as a prime example, Macca. Yeah, yes. They paid, what was it, like something like 15 billion for Minecraft? Something stupid money anyway. Don't quote me on that. It was silly money.
And that's out on everything.
Yeah, and they've kept it out on absolutely everything. And they're making hand over fist on Minecraft because of all the microtransactions that they sell on that, all the extra DLC. You could buy it on the Switch, the PlayStation, the Xbox, buy it on your fucking mobile phone, everything, right? Microsoft on. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. There you go. UK old boy just told me in Twitch they bought it for $2 billion. That's a lot of money, man.
That's a bargain.
Yeah, so
I'd buy Minecraft right now. Do you know what I mean? It's a bargain.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this is what Microsoft is going to do, and we'll see if it happens in the years to come. Right? They'll have some franchises like Call of Duty, keep them multi-platform, but then you'll see a lot of other franchises just be exclusive to the Xbox family of systems. That's how I'm going to call Xbox now, because it's a family of device. It's not even devices, is it? When you think of streaming, you've got PC, console, and streaming there. It is just a service, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think what they'll do is like the big main titles, because let's face it, 70 billion, they've got to get some of that back.
Of course.
So
they want to be making a profit, right?
Exactly. So they can't be saying, right, Call of Duty is only going to come out on one console, and I'm literally out of that 30 billion that Call of Duty has generated in its lifetime, probably 20 of it has been on PlayStation and PC. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They're not going to cut the nose. What they'll do is they'll take a dying franchise like Overwatch, or something like that, and they'll make it exclusive to Xbox.
Yeah,
because they know that the player base isn't huge, and they know that the revenue isn't huge, and it's not going to make a big dent in the underlying in the gross profit.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing though for me, and this is a bit off topic here, but just while it sprung into my mind, is Crash Bandicoot being an Xbox mascot.
Well, how am I?
He was always PlayStation.
He was, yeah.
He was PS1. Crash Bandicoot he was like Sony's Mario.
He was
Sega's Sonic, and it's now Xbox's Bandicoot, and it's like, what the hell? That don't sit right with me, to be honest.
Yeah, the thing is though, like Microsoft have Master Chief, right, as their kind of mascot. I don't think anyone will ever replace him, but you got like Spyro and Crash as well. They could make, right, Microsoft could make a game to rival Smash Bros. With all the characters that they now have in their catalogue. It'd be amazing. Clarky's just asked us a question as well. He says, do you think if Xbox will bother pushing the boundaries with the consoles in the future, or will prefer to eventually turn it into a service that can play on anything? Like a smart TV app that UK old boy has said.
I think if the technology gets that far, it will be some sort of streaming box, like a Fire Stick. But you're talking, we're at that stage now with graphics on consoles to be 4K. Are those little sticks, or are those boxes enough power to be able to power the games? This is the question.
I mean, I don't see game streaming being mainstream for a very, very long time. And Xbox in particular, they've gone back to their core where they want to have the most powerful console out there. But they also, they've done such a good marketing ploy this gen. They've wanted to push the boundaries, get the most powerful console out there. You got the Series X, but for the budget conscious gamer, you can just get the Xbox Series S for like, was it £260 or whatever? Get Game Pass, and job done. You don't have to worry about it, right? So I think they've got that happy medium there, and I think when another generation of consoles comes along, I'm pretty sure they'll stick to that same game plan, because what you've got to remember, right, they're a service now, so they need to take into account the Xbox family of consoles, the big variety of PC specs out there as well, because I'm sorry, right, yeah, Game Pass on PC is great, and most games run really well, but on their last two AAA titles, they've let the PC gamers down with Halo and Forza. They just haven't been up to the par, in my opinion. But I think they will improve that, to be honest. So yeah, I still think that they will push the boundaries, because at the end of the day, right, yes, they are a service, but they still want to be competing with PlayStation in that console space as well.
I think you're right. I think they've set themselves up lovely. I think you're right about the PC Games Pass. It's a bit of a letdown, but then I am looking at it from my point of view. I think it's a letdown because you can't use it to stream on Twitch, because there's coding in it. So as soon as you boot up Forza Horizon 5, for example, and then you go on your OBS and say stream, select the window that it's on, right, it pauses the game, and you can't unpause it until you press it. But that's to be honest, that's why I bought an S Series S, because I wanted to stream Forza.
Right, okay, that's fair enough.
Because I couldn't do it off my PC. But yeah, the Series X is a fantastic console, and I think they've hit the nail on the head with it. It's exactly what it says on the tin. It's for Games Pass. The family of consoles themselves, I think you're right. They're always going to want to keep a console of some sort. They may, the next gen, if there is a next gen, they may hold back to. They might not do the two. They might just say, right, do you know what? Let's look at the sales of both consoles. So you've got the Series X and the Series S. Obviously, let's write off the first 2 years, because there was no Series X to sell, and there was no Series S's. But we see that there's a change in people's behaviours, and we've seen there's a change of people's accounts. We've noticed people are going more towards the digital content route, and it's going to piss a lot of people off. But the next console may not even have a disc drive at all. They might not even give you an option, but they, instead of having a Series X, a Series S without a disc drive, essentially it's going to be a Series X without a disc drive. It's going to be the most powerful console, and it's just going to be like, well, look, guys, us at Microsoft have determined that 80% of our console sales and 80% of our members only buy digital content. Yeah,
I think you've hit the nail on the head a little bit there, but I think this is where Sony will be smart as well, right? They're going to push their physical offering, their physical media, because a lot of PlayStation gamers, I'm just going off PlayStation gamers that I personally know here. They still prefer to buy the majority of their games physical. One reason for that is because the games are expensive. They're 70 quid, and then if you finish it and you want to play it again, you can trade it in, right? But also, if you're paying that premium, you kind of want something on your shelf, really. I mean, I could never envision myself paying 70 quid plus for a digital game ever. It's just crazy.
I did.
You're mad. But
you haven't heard what game it was yet.
Oh, go on.
You're going to kick me off the podcast. It was Resident Evil 3 Remake.
Oh my God, you're insane.
I'm a massive Resident Evil fan, so I had to have it on launch day, and I paid 70 quid for it. And I digitally, and I literally completed it in the first day, and I went, man, I've wasted 70 quid here.
But it always intrigues me. I mean, when I see all these fanboy wars going on the social medias, because I've seen it all today. I'm not going to go through it all, point by point. I'm just going to summarise. I've had people saying, Microsoft are just buying up everyone. It's really bad for gaming in general. You've had a lot of people saying, well, these are mainly PlayStation fans saying, well, Game Pass is shite anyway. It's just old crappy games. What's the point? We've got, Sony have got our great studios, and we're quite happy to pay 70 quid for our excellent experience. But all in all, I mean, on my view, Macca, it's just, it doesn't really bother me, because I consider myself in a very lucky position that not a lot of people are in, where I have a PlayStation, I have an Xbox, and I have a PC and a Switch. So I've got the best of every single gaming world anyway. So whatever happens, I'm going to be playing the games because at the end of the day, I'm a gamer. I'm not really that fussed where I play these good games. I just want to play them. But it's just been fascinating to me just to see all the arguments online, and it's just, I don't get it. I really don't understand why people really have to try and be so negative all the time about all these things. You know, like if Sony buy a studio, for example, it'll be the opposite, right? You'll have all the Xbox fanboys going, "Oh, fucking Sony, blah blah blah," you know, and they're just. It's just bizarre. I don't understand that mentality at all, to be honest. I think all systems have their positives and they all have their negatives, to be honest.
And I think the crazy thing is, it's like in this day and age with cross-platform gaming and multiple game choices, like the same game on multiple consoles, you know, and you can still play with your friends on Xbox if you're on PlayStation, all of that. And it's crazy to think that back in the day, when there was literally Sega and Nintendo, you was either a SNES or a Mega Drive kid because your mum and dad couldn't afford to buy you both of them. You either had one or the other. Yeah. Right? Back in the day, we didn't even have these arguments. And now it's got to a point where it doesn't matter what console you're on because you can still play with your mates. Yeah. Regardless. And it's literally like, oh, well, Xbox is better than PlayStation. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they're all playing the same games. It's literally down to personal preference. That's the way I look at it.
It's completely.
And like you, I'm fortunate enough. I've got a Series S. I've got a PlayStation 5. I've got a PS4. Both my kids have got Switches. Yeah. My eldest has got the docking one. My little girl's got the portable one, and I've got a PC.
Yeah.
And I've got emulation on my PC of consoles all the way back to the Commodore 64.
Yeah.
So I can literally play any game ever made.
Yeah.
And
it's great.
And I sit there and see these arguments like you, and I sometimes don't understand them. And I think it's just that one-upmanship. It's like, you know, it's people having to justify their choice in life of what console they bought.
That's exactly what I was about to say, Mac. You took the words right out of my mouth there. And
me personally, I was always going to buy a PlayStation 5 and a kind of Xbox, whether it was a Series S or X. Now, I've actually just said to my wife tonight, I am going to buy an X. I don't know where I'm going to put it because my desk is full as it is, but I will find somewhere for it.
Yeah.
And then the Series S, I'll turn into an emulator. I'll turn into a big emulation station and just load it up with ROMs and stuff. And it's, you know, it doesn't bother me, my choices. If I just bought a PS5. Yeah. Because that's my choice. I'm comfortable with that choice.
I think with some people, Macca, it's the fact that they only, you know, there could be a variety of reasons why they only have one console. You know, it could be financial, could be just time, or it could just be, you know, and this is some people, right? They're so pig-headed they will not play a game on another system just because, oh, I've always played a PlayStation. Oh, I'm not going to move on to anything else. Which I find hilarious.
A lot of it is the controller.
100%. Yeah.
How many people sit there and argue about controllers? They don't even argue about the graphics or the power of the console. They don't even argue about the games. They just simply say, I don't like using the PlayStation because I don't like the controller.
I have to say, though, right, the latest PlayStation 5 controller is fucking amazing. And even Microsoft have come out and said that they're quite jealous of all the features of the PS5 controller. That haptic feedback is so good, man. I love it. I don't
have it turned on. Don't have it turned on.
What? Oh my god, it's so good.
Literally, I'm such an old school gamer, right? I don't even like vibrations in a normal controller.
Oh my goodness!
The problem is, I think I said I shattered my thumb joint. I think I said in the podcast. So my right thumb is actually half an inch shorter than my left thumb because I'm missing a thumb joint.
Yeah.
Well, having vibrations and stuff in the control pad and having to move it from buttons to analog stick, literally it locks up and it freezes and it goes numb and it causes me a lot of pain.
That's fair enough, mate. Yeah, so I understand that.
I turn, if I want a long gaming session, I have to turn vibrations off, or literally my hand's like vibrating after, like it's literally numb and vibrating, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a bit wrong.
See, I've always liked to have the feedback in a controller. I remember when the Xbox 360 launched and they had the vibration in the triggers, and I remember banging on about, wow, you can feel the vibration in Forza when you're going over, the curbs, and then Triggers, oh, wow, this is so cool. And obviously, moving on, the PlayStation has that haptic feedback, and it's fucking awesome, right? But I consider myself quite lucky. I can quite happily interchange between a variety of different controllers, and or keyboard and mouse, right? I just seem to be very adept at just moving on. Yeah, I'm quite happy. Yeah, even with the Switch and the A and B being the wrong way round, just seem to get my brain just seems to switch like that, and I'm more than happy within a couple of minutes.
But then I think that goes back because you're similar age, you've similar gaming age as me, so you've experienced a lot what I've experienced, etc., vice versa. Back in the day, you'd have a control pad, you'd have a light gun, you'd have a steering wheel, you'd have all these, and like I go from controller to arcade stick to mouse and keyboard, which I'm still practicing. I'm not the best at, but I'm getting better. So then I'll set up a steering wheel with Gran Turismo and sit there and just jump on that.
Yeah, that's cool.
And literally really in one day, I could play 4 different games with 4 different peripherals. Yeah, in one day, and it's crazy to think like that, but yeah, it's people do argue about it, and people will literally. I know someone that will not use a PlayStation because of the like a PS4 because of the control pad.
It's mad. I just find that really odd that people say that.
I don't get it because they said, I don't like the PS3 control pads or 2 or 1s. And I was like, well, yeah, because they were built for children. PS1, 2 and 3 control pads were built for children. I'm sorry.
The Japanese, they have smaller hands, right? So they need the smaller controllers.
Yeah. But the PS4 was the first controller that actually fit in my hand properly and work and actually feel comfortable.
That's fair. I mean, I'm quite happy with any controller. But just going back to the Activision news well. Yeah. It has come out as well later on today after all this news that when the acquisition is finalised, because these things, when they're announced, they can take another month or 2 or even longer to actually finalise, right?
Yeah. But there's going to be a lot of licensing issues as well because...
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of things going on. And
yeah, because you've got 2 games within the Activision universe that are actually competitive games.
Right.
So there is a lot more licensing involved, a lot more sponsorships involved because before they were sponsoring these tournaments and Activision were getting it, and now they've got to go to Xbox. So there is a lot there.
And the other thing I was going to say is that it's come out that when the acquisition is finalised, Bobby Kotick is going to be stepping down and leaving the company.
Bobby Kotick.
He's the guy he's the guy who runs the company, and he's had all the sexual assault allegations against him.
Oh, the activist, yeah. Well, I'm kind of not surprised. I think, to be honest, with all the allegations set against him, that was really inevitable. I think before even the buyout, I think they were probably going, probably not the best policy to keep this guy on.
Yeah, I mean. So UK Old Boys just mentioned in the Twitch chat that he's just put June 2023.
Sounds about right, to be fair.
So they've announced it over a year before it finishes. That's crazy, man. I didn't think it'd be that long. I thought it'd be, in a few months we'll be playing Call of Duty on Game Pass. I've got to wait over a year? Oh my goodness. Wow.
It sounds about right though, to be fair, yeah.
Yeah.
Because like I say, it's not the buyout will go ahead. The buyout's gone ahead. And in name it will be Activision / Xbox. But there's going to be a lot of revenue that they need to sort out from sponsorships on the competitive side because Activision actually runs the Call of Duty League.
Right, yeah.
An Activision run league, so they've got to sort that out because there's players' wages involved with that, and there's team wages, and there's team competitions, and there's prize monies and things like that. So that all needs to be finalised. That all needs to get dealt with, and
obviously because they're such a big company that they're buying out, I'm guessing there'll be the anti-competitive investigations going on, and and all that bollocks as well, right?
Plus also they've got to put it through the monopoly commissions as well, because the buyout will be, even up until the finalised date, it will be 90% done, because they can't physically buy it out.
Yeah,
because it's got to be signed off by the monopoly commissions. Because they bought Bethesda last year.
Yeah,
I don't know whether the monopoly commission might say, well, actually, you're buying a bit too much here, lads. You know, we're not gonna authorise that. So,
yeah, but it must have gone on quite far through some authorization for them to publicly announce this. Right?
No, because you can publicly announce something, because essentially it's going to happen, like you say, but it's just they've got to go through the paperwork, they've got to go through the finances, and still, right up until the very last minute, the deal could be pulled.
Yeah. You never know. Another company like Tencent could come in and offer them more money. You never know.
That's it. Or Sony could come in and offer them more money.
I don't think Sony have that kind of money to hand, mate. To be fair,
no, they don't. They don't, especially selling PlayStation 4s and PlayStation 3s at a loss for like how many years?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think the future is looking very interesting. I mean, as I say, it's been a really big piece of news today. One, it's just been interesting to see, and I'm amazed that Microsoft's spending that much money. But from a gaming perspective, I'm not really actually that fussed, because I don't really play Activision games anyway. But I think that just from a gaming interest perspective, I'm just fascinated to see what the future is going to hold, just for the Game Pass platform and future Activision Blizzard games. Because as I say, I'm a big supporter of Game Pass. I mean, I've been an Xbox Live subscriber for 18 years now. I'm a massive fan anyway, a bit of an Xbox fanboy-ish, in one way or another. I just think it's going to be interesting to see what the future holds, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm intrigued because I mean, I've always loved Xbox, but the Xbox 360 personally was my favourite console.
Same.
But I'm intrigued to see, because Call of Duty, although yes, it's gone downhill for me in the last few years, I would probably say it's still one of my favourite franchises, just because I've spent so much time and money on it, and I haven't bought I'm not into microtransactions, but when DLCs used to come out, they used to come out as packs, and
your map packs.
Yeah. I would be all over that. I'd be buying them all the time. I'd be like, I love the game, and I spent many hours playing it.
See, back then though, map packs wasn't really a massive deal, because it's like, right, you spend a tenner on some more maps. There are new experiences for you to enjoy in this multiplayer game. Whereas now, all the microtransactions I never buy, right? It's like gun skins or outfits. I don't give a fuck about all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like looking back now, you can see where it all started, and the little changes throughout the years and what's happened. It's quite interesting if you look back like that.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be intriguing. I don't think Sony's got anything to worry about. Like you say, I think they're two different companies. You've got Sony; they're this exclusive animal. Let's face it.
Yeah.
And I was actually just reading someone's chat in there. Darkest Frost. There isn't a game on PlayStation that makes me feel like I need to spend the money on a console to play it. And to be honest, that is very much like myself. My wife bought me the PS5, but to be honest, I own two games for it: Super Monkey Ball and Ratchet and Clank on the PS5. Yeah, because I'm just waiting for Gran Turismo. That's literally it.
But again, that's down to personal choice of the games you like, right? Because from my point of view, I've really enjoyed playing Returnal, Demon's Souls, Ratchet and Clank, Spider-Man, just to name a couple.
I've got Returnal. I'm just sorry, that's on my hard drive. But I wasn't a massive fan of that. But
the robot game that comes with the PlayStation, I completed that twice. It's fucking awesome. Astrobot's so good. And I'm kind of trying to clear my backlog at the minute, going back to some PS4 games that have been improved for the PS5. So Days Gone and Horizon Zero Dawn. I never finished those games. I thought, that was a great opportunity. So as I say, it does depend on the games that you enjoy, right? And I love the Uncharted franchises. I enjoy the Last of Us games. These are experience of God of War. These are games that unless you've got a PC, right? Majority of them are only on the PlayStation, right? And some people are saying now, well, if all these PlayStation exclusives are now going to come to PC 2 or 3 years after they've hit the console, well, I might as well just wait. But I'll be interested to see what they do in that space, because I don't think they're going to be doing that on all their games. There's only a select few, right? Because I don't think you'll see Demon's Souls on the PC or Spider-Man, right?
No. I think the one game I think you will see on PC is Gran Turismo. And the reason why I say that is because sim racing is massive on the PC. Sim racing is a PC.
I'm a big sim racer. I love it.
So when I start reeling off like iRacing, Set a Course, Comp National, and you know that they are PC titles. Yeah. Yep.
But graphically, they do not hold up to Gran Turismo.
No, because they're old. To be fair, they're old now, aren't they? But there's also that it is a sim racing is a PC culture.
It is.
So for PlayStation not to release Gran Turismo on the PC is probably losing them a fair good chunk of money. To be honest, I'm not going to lie, because most sim racers will have a PC setup rather than a PlayStation setup.
Yeah,
and that's.
I don't see it coming to PC. I really don't. I don't think Sony want to let that baby go onto another.
But then you would have said that about God of War and Final Fantasy.
Well, yeah, true.
And look at growing up.
That fucking port, that Final Fantasy VII remake port on the PC is so shit.
No, I've not played it. I haven't even played I've got the PS5 version because I got the upgrade because I had it on PS4.
Yeah,
and I got the upgrade. I still haven't played it on the PS5.
So
I need to go through it. It's just for me, it's just time.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's just trying to find time to play all these games, and that's why I've kind of said that this year and this is where Games Pass comes in absolutely amazing for me, because I've said already this year that really I'm only going to spend money on Gran Turismo 7.
Yeah.
And then I've got to clear some backlog of games like yourself. I've got Ghost of Tsushima. I've got The Last of Us Part 2 that I still haven't played.
Yeah.
I've got all these games that I haven't played, and I'm like, I need to.
You're not going to pick up Elden Ring then?
I'm not a massive fan of those sort of games. This is the problem.
Fair enough.
Like Demon Souls, Dark Souls. That's like I'm not a massive fan of them. I try them. Don't get me wrong.
I like them, but I never finish them because they're too hard for me. Because I'm a bit of a noob.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. I haven't got the patience.
Yeah.
I remember playing Dark Souls 3 for the first time, and I was like, it took me 26 or 27 attempts to beat the first boss.
Wow.
And I was like, I ain't got the patience for this.
Yeah.
And literally, I have really seriously can't. I ain't got the patience. And it got to the point where I just turned it off, and I've not put it on since. Same with Bloodborne. I got to Father Gascoigne, just couldn't beat Gascoigne, so I went, right, I ain't got the patience. I mean, right now I'm sitting here playing Gunk.
Yeah. I finished that last week. Pretty all right. So anyway, on this news, is there anything else you want to mention on it? I mean, I think we've kind of slogged it to death now.
Yeah, we have. We've covered it. I think it's all just going to be hearsay, rumours, and personal opinions up until this point. I don't think you're going to get any.
Yeah.
We're just going to have to wait. I think. Have to wait for old what's his name, the Xbox man, I forget what his name is.
It's gonna
Phil Spencer.
Phil, good old Phil.
We're just gonna have to wait for old Phil to come out and go, guess what, guys, we are taking over the world.
That's it.
Next time we see Phil, we might have a shaved head and a little scar on his face holding a black cat wearing a grey suit.
That's it.
You never know.
Cool. All right, mate. Well, I think on that note, as I say, we flogged the story to death, and we'll end it here. So watch out for us on Sunday. We'll probably be talking about this some more on Sunday, but I think doing this this specific show on the subject has actually been a good idea because it saved an hour of talking in the main show on Sunday.
Yeah.
We want to be talking about the games we've been playing and stuff as well. So thank you very much, Macca. It's been great. So from me, Mark Webb, Gamer Tag, Pierce on a D, Steam ID, Webby 360G.
And from me, Big Macca 83.
Awesome. So you can find us next week, Sunday, 8:30 p.m. on Twitch, twitch.tv/360, /Webby360G, or just on the normal podcast. Next week's show is for everybody, so you don't need to be a Patreon for next week's show. So all you freeloaders get the whole show next week. Lucky people. And that's about it. So thank you very much. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Take care, guys.